What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. I don't know why I'm wearing this Eagles shirt. They just got smoked by Tampa Bay. But anyway, I got a story out of the country in this one. And before I begin with this story and introduce you to the people in the story, I did a video, I think last week, about six missing people in America, supposedly following behind some type of cult leader, if you know the way the media is portraying it. And this story is similar to that. This story comes out of the country of Kenya in Africa. Shout out Kenya, you know what I'm saying? My Kenyan viewers. And it's about this man right here. Guys, this is something you got to hear to believe. This guy right here is Paul Mackenzie, a former taxi driver turned minister. This guy right here is currently on trial with 30 other associates, you know, from his ministry. This guy has been accused of taking the lives of over 191 children in an attempt in convincing his followers to starve to death to meet Jesus. Now, before I get into this story, let me say this. It's surprising how human beings of sound body and sound mind presumably will let another person talk them or persuade them into doing something outside of the natural order of things in an attempt to gain immortality. Me, myself, I'm not religious. I'm a spiritual person, meaning I believe there's something greater than myself that created the universe and such, but I do not, commit myself to any type of organized religion. Not saying anything's wrong with it. It's just not for me. Take a look at this video, and we'll come back and talk about the atrocities this man is accused of and those that helped him. Take a look.
All accused persons do undergo psychiatric assessment to ascertain their fitness to take plea.
Dozens of accused doomsday cult members in Kenya appearing in court on Wednesday, facing charges of murder, cruelty, and child torture.
This is not a normal case. Isn't it crimes against humanity?
It is the start of a legal process in an investigation centered on the cult's leader, a self-described pastor named Paul Mackenzie. Prosecutors say Mackenzie's so-called Good News International Church was anything but.
I am afraid that we have many more graves in this forest.
In April of 2023, investigators discovered a horrific scene in Kenya's remote Shakahola forest. Hundreds of bodies unearthed from shallow graves. Among the dead, nearly 200 children, with autopsies finding that some died from starvation, while others were strangled or suffocated. Those who did survive were found in critical condition.
We were able to rescue about 15 people. And among the 15 people, 4 died as we are proceeding to hospital.
But this was a highly organized crime.
Now prosecutors point to Mackenzie as the central figure in their investigation. They say he convinced his followers to abandon their lives and retreat to the forest under the pretense of preparing for the apocalypse, then letting them starve to death as a path to religious salvation. Mackenzie's defense says he is cooperating with the investigation and denies the allegations against him.
Terrorists use religion to advance their heinous acts. People like Mr. Mackenzie are using religion to do exactly the same thing.
The government of Kenya will do whatever it takes to make sure that we convict Mr. Mackenzie and all those who helped him perpetrate his heinous crimes.
And a judge in Kenya ordered mental evaluations for the cult leader, Paul Mackenzie, as well as dozens of his followers before they can be formally charged with the murders of 191 children.
All All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a sad, unfortunate turn of events. 191 children dead. Some were recovered. They said 4 died on the way to getting treatment. Said they were emaciated. Some of them died from strangulation. I guess other members strangled the children. And they were bruised up. Now I'm going to tell you something. They said this happened in the Shakahola Forest. And they're calling this the Shakahola Forest Massacre. A lot of times, well, most of the times, these guys had their own compounds or their own settlements. They go out in the woods. Nothing wrong with that. People don't bother them. But what entails and what goes on out there in such settlements, a lot of times, it is, like everybody's saying it's a heinous crime. It is. But I mean, this right here is beyond reality to me. I try to lead by example, and I try to think about things before I make, irrational decisions. We spoke about it before. When you deal with a lot of people that have cultish natures and stuff like that, first thing they do is what? Isolation or separation from the rest of the world that they deem evil or unfit, or those that would be too tempting for you to reach divinity. This guy wanted to do this thing in 3 phases. Phase 1 was starve the children. The whole thing was about starving yourself to reach divinity with Jesus. Starving the children. Second phase was the women would starve next. Third phase would be the men. And it's just funny how it seems like most of the time, the one that be the cult leader survive. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Starvation is a painful thing to endure. A lot of those African nations, starvation is still a major issue. To watch your children starve, right? I don't know how you get convinced to watch your children starve to death, shrivel up and die as a woman, knowing that next is your turn. And then as a man, seeing your wife, your girlfriend, or just your fellow congregational member withering away and dying painfully, knowing it's your turn. That makes no sense to me. You cannot convince me that that is the way in my purpose on this planet to be a human being to reach the next life. No way. They was out there in the forest. I'm sure when this thing first happened, it probably was the greatest thing ever, because they always come out to be the greatest thing ever. Oh man, we're free. We feel good. We don't have the stresses of the world everybody else does. And that's the thing. Everybody wants to get away from the stresses of the world. There's nothing wrong with that. But the grass is not always greener on the other side. In fact, it's an illusion. Ain't no grass on the other side. In case of these, got over almost 200 children gone. This maniac was stopped before the whole thing could go down. Now that everybody knows they've been fooled and all this stuff, how you think the parents feel following behind this dude? How you think they feel? This is horrible. They're saying, oh, maybe mental illness was a part of the thing. Anybody that go out there, in my opinion, has some type of mental illness. This is how I feel. And mental illness don't have to mean you bat crap crazy. It could also mean you just don't, have it in you to lead. Now, there's nothing wrong with being led somewhere when somebody has an idea or something that you don't know about, that you want to be a part of. If somebody has a plan and it's a positive plan, by all means, help that person achieve that. That don't make you weak. That don't make you soft. Makes you a human being. We're supposed to work together towards a common good and goal. But this right here is lunacy on all levels. Y'all agree or disagree? It's hurtful that these children are gone. And their parents, some of the parents contribute, because some of them are strangled. Some of them contribute to the demise of the children, wanting their children to make it to the afterlife, to have a better life than them, and then to find out this whole thing was a lie. And one man's plan. I guarantee you that last part, he would have survived and they wouldn't. Guarantee you, this whole thing this aggravates me. Children gone. Then they was going to do the women. Ain't no way, if I got a wife, I'm starving her. And damn sure ain't no way I'm starving my children. I don't care how many human beings that look like me, you know what I'm saying, that say, oh, this is what God wants. Okay, well, you go first. Show me how it's done. Then I'll decide if it's right. Unless you can fly and all this other stuff that other human beings can't do to show that you holier than thou, I don't want to hear nothing. This is a hurtful, hurtful thing. This guy been locked up since last April. You know what I'm saying? Well, before that, they've been locked up since last April. He been locked up since last December. Supposedly, he was running a film studio without no license. They sentenced him to a year in jail. I don't understand it. My prayers go out to these families, and a lot of people got to be careful. You know, a lot of people sit out here and they'll say, oh, man, this is a stupid story. That would never happen to me. You don't know what would happen to you. You don't. Because a lot of us have cultish, cultish or following type mentality now. A lot of people out here, and they're developing our younger children. Look at the movies. People are starting to act like what they see on film, a fictional character, and people want to live their life such as that. Look at the video games, same thing. So before you sit up here and say, hey, man, this is a stupid way of thinking and stuff like that, we need to really take a look in the mirror, because a lot of us have traits of somebody that would follow a cult. Hell, it's happening over here. You seen it last week. There's something to think about. From Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share and subscribe. Shout out to the nation of Kenya. You know what I mean? For sharing the story with the rest of the world. Ain't no way to meet Jesus. I got to do something unnatural, like starve myself, when the world has been put here. And in the Bible, it says all the fruit and seed and stuff was here for man to flourish. Be fruitful and multiply. That's in the Bible. The reverse of that is nothing but the devil. That's just me. Going against the unnatural order of things. When you go against the natural order of things, that is what's considered a sin in my book. How about you? See you in the next video. Take care.